Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkies, Thursday night, a Throwdown. It's me, it's the big guy KG, sitting in with none other than the gentleman, Jack Carr himself. Jack, how you feeling tonight?
Feeling good, man.
That's good. Hopefully we'll be joined by the Midnight Rider later. The boss BJ's on special assignment right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get this thing started because it's nothing but money, yeah, being made around here. First up, Steph Curry signs a new extension. 1 year, $62.6 million. That means not this year coming. This year coming is 24-25. 26-27, he gets $62.5 million. Well, over $62.6 million for that one season. Steph signed a 4-year, $215 million contract.
Previous.
Yes, and that was all $215 guaranteed with an average salary of $53.8 million.
Oh my God.
His salary alone this season will be $55.7 million.
He's going to surpass Mike on earnings, man. By the time he gets Mike's age, he's going to be way up there. Earnings.
Yeah. I think the only person that has earned more in the NBA as a player is probably LeBron.
Yes, definitely. But that's a lot of coin to be shelling out. I mean, Golden State didn't do nothing in the draft, so they better do something in free agency. They had nothing in the draft. They had no options.
You already reading my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Going over to the Golden State Warriors roster and looking at their current roster. Now, you know, Klay's gone. Klay's in Dallas. He's gone. This is their current roster as it stands right now. You have Kyle Anderson, Reese Beekman, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Buddy Hield, Tracy Jackson Davis, Jonathan Kuminga, Kevin Looney, DeAnthony Melton, Moses Moody, Daquan Plowden, Brandon Podzinski, Quentin Post, Guy Santos, Pat Spencer, Lindy Waters, and Andrew Wiggins. Yeah,
you know, Buddy Hield ain't gonna be that guy. You saw that at the end of the season and in the playoffs. He's like a faucet, man. He's hot and cold. I like that boy Kuminga they got though. I think Kuminga could be a 20-point scorer if they ran a little bit more offense through him. He rips the rim down. He definitely is a good inside player. And Podzinski, he's spot on 3-point shooter. He really he really improved last year. I liked him, but other than that, man, they got to do something in free agency if they're gonna put a squad around Steph. Hello, big Midnight Rider.
We're joined by Midnight Rider. How you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, give me a second. I gotta change something out. Kick me out.
Yeah, you want some freeze up?
Gotcha. So, looking at this, damn, you put yourself back in. There you go.
He playing hide go seek.
Looking at this roster, I agree with you. I agree with you, Jack. There is this roster does not scream to me championship contender. This roster screams to me no higher than the 6th to 7th seed.
Middle of the pack.
And I'm saying that out of respect because Steph's getting older. He can't do it by himself. And I was in the minority for the last few years, but I said if you got to get rid of somebody out of their quote unquote big three, it has to be Draymond.
Correct. I thought
you don't get rid of Klay, right? I wouldn't have got rid of Clay because I can do more with Clay. Draymond, and I said this before, and I was fought tooth and nail about it. But Draymond was the reason KD left. Draymond was the reason they had to get rid of Jordan Poole.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond has been the cause of a lot of things. Then he can't keep himself out of trouble. Like, that's the problem.
He likes trouble. He's got little Dennis Rodman in him. He likes trouble.
Yeah, but Dennis Rodman was, you had to think about it. With dealing with Dennis Rodman, yeah, he may be gone for 3, 4, 5 games, a season sometimes a little bit more. But in the games that he showed up, you knew he was going to be a factor on the boards. You knew he had the ability to pull down 25, 30 rebounds. You knew he had the factor to lock down a power forward or a center of the opposite team, sometimes even a small forward. With Draymond, I'm just like, a lot of times he thinks he's the main character.
Yeah, true.
Rather than just Draymond. All you got to do is be Draymond, and that's damn good right there.
Works for me.
And I'm not piling on him because I think he's a talented player.
Yeah, I don't know why they made that. I don't know why they made that decision, to let go of Clay. I would have done it if, say, we had a 5th, 6th, 7th pick in the draft. But they ain't have squat. I thought they drafted in the 50s. And as we talked before, how many people would get drafted 50th or more get that stays, They had nothing. So they must have something in plan for free agency. They got to. They're not that dumb, man. I don't know. It just doesn't sound like a good move to me because, like I said, you're paying them all that money. You need something around them, too. It might just be a drop in the bucket for them. I don't see the Golden State Warriors improving with the lineup they have now.
And I think a lot of people are starting to look at Steve Kerr in a different light, especially at the Olympics. Because people are looking at Steve Kerr like, does he really coach or is he just blessed with talent? And I don't like that assessment because I think Steve Kerr is a genius at the game because of how he approaches the game. I don't think that you should diminish his coaching ability because he didn't play Jason Tatum in the Olympics, or the way he's handled Golden State and they haven't been able to really get over the hump. But if you don't have a full team and a full complement of players, you wouldn't get over the hump either. So I just wonder how this is going to look for Steve Kerr once this season comes to a conclusion. Because everybody was talking about how Golden State was a dynasty. I kept saying, stop saying they're a dynasty. Yes, they have 4 titles, but you have to sustain. Now,
you don't consider them a dynasty?
I didn't.
Why not?
Just because it was just like, now if you added role players, if the Midnight Rider was here, he would give me a hard time. But this is how I define a dynasty. You have your building blocks, right? You have your foundation. You have your go-to guys, Steph Curry, Clay, Draymond. Those are your go-to guys. Mm-hmm. They went 73-9, and in the following season, they went out and got another superstar. Wait, what? And then you won 2 championships with that superstar. So you want to really get technical with it? I don't think they're a dynasty because you went out and got a guy that was already established. Chicago didn't go out and get a guy that was already established, that was already top player in the league. And we were a dynasty. The Lakers never did it. Well, no, let me rephrase it. The Lakers did do it, but the Lakers were already in the midst of their dynasty run when they got McAdoo. And they didn't hold on to him for long. I think McAdoo only was there for 2 championships. But the Lakers ruled the 80s. They had the staying power.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but I consider Golden State a dynasty.
Boston never did it.
Boston brought in the big 3
to add with Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish.
But Boston did it with the big three, the original big three, tell you the truth, I think, with KG, the Truth, and Ray Ray.
Well,
That's one of the first.
That was how they built the dynasty. Thank you, V. Williams. Always chiming in. Thank you.
Hi, V.
But
I'll give V her own little signal, V.
That's just the way I feel. And
I understand.
I look at it like this. Everybody calls the Lakers, the early 2000 Lakers, they call that a mini dynasty. And they won with the players they had. And the players that left weren't players of note all the time. They left. You had Ron Harper, Horace Grant. Those guys retired.
I can bring up something that would have us talking for 20 more minutes. The whole homegrown, they got to be drafted, can't be traded, got to be drafted.
Yeah.
That's crap. Kobe never played a step foot on a Charlotte court.
Right.
He's a Laker.
Right. That's what you associate him with. But when you
look
at
it, man.
Drafted by.
They had him for their first game under the Lakers.
He was drafted with the first round 13th overall pick of the 96 draft by the Charlotte Hornets. Chris Webber was drafted by the Orlando Magic.
I will say no more.
So if he won in Golden State, he wasn't homegrown either. All right. Jumping over. Congrats to Steph, though. I can't hate on the man getting his money.
Yeah. No, I'll enjoy watching Steph play.
But I will say this. Hey, Steph, let me hold a couple dollars. Let me hold something to my FEMA check clear. We got some NFL news. I should have got to this a couple of days ago because this is kind of old news. Jerry Jones, I said it in the group and somebody made a comment about when is Jerry ever cheap. Jerry's always cheap, but he didn't go cheap on CeeDee Lamb. But Jerry, let me explain something. And I'm not even sure who said it, but I didn't respond to it because I was supposed to respond to it on the show. But Jerry is cheap, period. He's known for underpaying. I mean, Dallas, period, is known for underpaying a lot of players. And then they overpay the players that can't really do nothing. But he overpaid Zeke a couple of years ago. Look how that worked out.
Yes, sir.
And if you think about it, the only people that Jerry has ever really paid top dollar for, now it's CeeDee Lamb. He paid top dollar for Dak Prescott, but Dak Prescott's contract is almost up. How is this 4-year, $136 million contract, including $38 million as signing bonus, $100 million guaranteed, and an average salary of $34 million?
Second highest, I believe, behind Jefferson.
How is that going to shake out for Dak Prescott, who's getting ready to come up for contract?
Like I said, shows before, I don't think Dak's going to get signed. I think he's going to lock up Lamb, is what I said. He's going to lock up Lamb, and he's going to lock up the boy D-line.
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons. Sorry, they're going to lock. This is old man stuff. They're going to lock up Lamb, which they did, and they're going to lock up Parsons, and they're going to make Dak play. That's really the way I see it going out. I expect to see something for Parsons real soon. I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry, says, "All right, it's time to pay. Let's play." And I got a little tidbit on CeeDee Lamb. Do you know what his name is?
What is it?
Don't look on the computer. Cedarian DeLon Lamb. Yeah, I go by CD too. Cedarian DeLeon. But they say he's been working out in Houston. They say he's ready to play a game. It's not like he's just been sitting back eating bonbons. So I believe Lamb's ready, man. He works on his art, on his craft.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Lamb's ready to play. I mean, it ain't like back in the day when guys held out, came in 40 pounds over.
I had to get back in football shape over the summer. Over training camp and stuff.
Oh, what was that big boy Redskins had?
Albert Hainsworth.
Hainsworth. That was unreal.
So Dak is in the last year of his contract. He signed a 4-year, $160 million contract, including $66 million as signing bonus, 126 guaranteed, average salary of $40 million. He gets he gets $29 million this year and a restructured bonus of $5 million coming up going into this season. And this is the last season of his contract. He will be an unrestricted free agent, possibly, in 2025.
Hey, play good, get paid good.
Right? But here's the question. After getting a 4-year, $160 million contract, you think Jerry going to really pony up and pay Dak, who is 31 going into this season? This is season 31 for him as far as age. You think he's going to pay him another 160?
If he pays him, he's going to pay him more than that. I mean, going rate a little higher than that, ain't it?
I don't. It would. I think it would be if he had to. If he's going to pay him, I think he would pay him way more than 160.
It's going to be more than that.
But I just
300,000. I mean, 300 million. Like I say, man, I think Jerry's going to say, play good, pay good. I think that they will maybe do something during the season or at the end of the season. If he plays really well, I don't think they're going to let him go, of course. But what happens if he gets hurt again or has, an 8-game season? It might be time to move on.
Now, this is what I'll say about Dak. I think it was a year. It was 2 years ago. He had an unbelievable season to start out, and the Cowboys were rolling. And he had the broken ankle. Mm-hmm. And I was, as a football fan, I was sad because I was like, how, Dak? How? No, this is like y'all were riding high. This was it. He was out. And after 5 weeks of him being out, he still led the league in passing. After 5 weeks of not playing, he was still the leader in passing. I said that right there is indicative of how valuable Dak Prescott is. Now, his record overall is 73-41. A lot of people say, well, he can't win the big one. I like to use the John Madden phrase. Tell me when there's a little one. Yes, he doesn't have a whole lot of playoff success, but playoff success does not go on him 1,000%, not even 100%. He plays a part in it, but you got to, when they lost to San Francisco, what was that, 2 years ago? You had a chance to take a shot at the end zone. You come out there with Ezekiel Elliott as the center and everybody else out. Like, what? That's coaching. Dallas has a habit of going into the playoffs high and mighty, that first game, and then getting mollywopped and sent home afterwards.
Yeah, that's been the way.
That's not 100% on Dak Prescott. That is coaching, and he does have teammates around him. You got to look at it like this. The defense got to stop people from scoring too.
Yeah.
All right, we got the midnight ride.
They got players around him, the best O-line in the league, one of the top 5 O-lines in the league, and he had the weapons when he had CeeDee Lamb and what was that other wide receiver they had last year that they let go?
Was it Amari Cooper?
Cooper was 2 years ago, wasn't he? But, he puts up numbers. He's put up some nice games. But, that's the tag that sticks on him. Can't win the big one. Hello, Midnight Rider.
I don't know if y'all can hear me. I don't know if you can't hear me.
Yes, sir.
We got you.
All right.
Do we want to hear you?
Is it Friday yet?
Not yet.
Hold on.
It's Thirsty Thursday.
I don't know what's going on, man. Commute home last night was a nightmare. Commute home today was a pain in that. I'm having fun, if y'all can't tell.
Well, we didn't do the open correctly because you weren't here. So if you will, grace us with that.
Mid-show open.
Right. Travis Henry about to take this to the house.
In case the Pappies are sleeping.
Let's see, how do we do this? See how I had the music bringing me in, but it's all good because this little thing we call Friday Eve. So welcome to all the ladies, the gentlemen, the mammies, the grandpappies, the uncles, the aunts, the he, the they, the them, and the when. Welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network in conjunction with Clear Production Sports. The only show that have people at the water cooler tomorrow saying Thursday night throwdown. Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
We were
man.
just talking about the CD Lamb contract and what it means for Dak. I had mentioned on a previous show that the Cowboys are going to lock up Lamb and Parsons and let Dak play it out. So right here, I got part of my prediction set. Lamb's locked up, 4-year, 136. What do you think about that?
So the way I see it going, I think parts of Dallas wants to move on from Dak. Just because you're paying so many people, I think they'll be egotistical enough to think that they can move themselves up into the draft position to get a young quarterback, or take an average young quarterback and just put a good run game behind them and try to win 9 games that way. You know, you win 9 or 10, that's all you need. And some of the GMs out here think that winning 9 games is easy if you have just a decent quarterback and a run game and a solid defense. So they can stir those things up. Yeah, you got a situation.
Yeah. Dak's got to stay healthy. And, you know, yeah, I think Dallas definitely has a quarterback in their future draft. And if they're not happy with Dak this year, they could do a draft and a free agent quarterback signing next year. Like I was telling KG, Dak's got to play good to get paid good. That's simple. It's that simple. I think it's going to go through the season.
If they do that, I mean, I think if I'm him,
Yeah, me too.
I'm walking. I'm going into free agency. I'm not even, because I know I'm gonna get paid.
Mm-hmm.
As many teams out here need quarterbacks. I mean, he's not the top 5, but he's got to be in the top 10.
Top 10 agreed.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll go there.
Top 10 agreed. I agree with top 10.
No, he's top 10.
He's
Yeah,
9
top
or
10,
10.
I agree.
He's 9 or 10, yeah.
Yeah, he's top 10. So I mean, somebody will roll the Brinks truck to their backyard and dump off the Brinks for him.
Yes, I agree.
So I mean, and I think Dallas will actually take a step back because of that. Because I think he is good for them. He's their best quarterback. He's their best option. And if they want to go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they go with Trey Lance. Unless that's who they betting the house on.
Lance is trash.
If they're betting the house on Trey Lance, then I got some beautiful beachfront property down in Southeast DC going real cheap.
Well, this is Jerry Jones we talking about.
I understand that.
Jerry Jones he either hits big or he misses big. Whatever he do is big.
That's why I say I think they'll draft somebody. I don't think they'll go the route of, because I don't even think they'll be a free agent. I think Dak would be the top QB free agent, and then everything else is like the also rans.
You know what would be?
They're gonna go get Tannehill.
Probably. He's a game manager, but you know, it'd be the serendipitous thing. If Dak leaves Dallas and goes to, give me a team that's just needed a quarterback.
Raiders.
He goes to the Raiders, hooks up with Devontae Adams. They start something big out there, and the Raiders go all the way to the Super Bowl, and Dak wins Super Bowl MVP. Just spitballing. That would be serendipitous to me. I would love that. That's a feel-good story for me.
I gotta say, I love your use of serendipity, though.
It's an SAT word. But looking at, I know Dallas just signed Dalvin Cook. Their running backs are Rico Dowdle, Ezekiel Elliott, and Deuce Vaughn, along with Dalvin Cook. They one thing Dallas has to realize, Tony Dorsett's not walking through that door. Herschel Walker's not walking through that door. Emmitt Smith is not walking through that door. Curvin Richards is not walking through that door. You can't. Running backs have a certain shelf life.
Huh?
Huh?
I ain't hear you. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Running backs have a certain shelf life.
I know I'm having connectivity issues. I think I'm having hearing issues.
Running backs have a certain shelf life.
Oh, okay.
Every running back can't play like Adrian Peterson and play well into their 30s and still be effective.
Man.
Every running back can't come back from an ACL tear, sometimes two, aka Terry Allen, and still be 1,000-yard rushes. Everybody can't do that. You have your run-of-the-mill running backs, and then you have running backs that you can say, all right, I can keep paying this guy because he's going to keep doing what I need him to do. All I got to do is over the years take the carries off him a little bit, and then when it's time for him to leave, he can ride off into the sunset. Okay? Ezekiel Elliott is expired. His shelf life is done. I don't think he has anything left in the tank as far as being a starting running back. Good third down running back, okay. He's good in pass protection, great. But I don't. The way Dallas is built right now, and I'm looking at their receiving core. You got Jalen Brooks, Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, Cavante Turpin, and Ryan Flournoy. You downgraded at tight end because you lost quite possibly one of the best tight ends in the game was Dallas Schultz. I mean, Schultz. I'm thinking of Dallas Goedert. Schultz, one of the best tight ends in the game, and you don't have him. Dallas is downgraded. I got Dallas being anywhere from a 7 to 9 win team this year.
I'm taking notes. So I wrote down KG said running backs have a shelf life.
We've always said that. The shelf life is between 22 and maybe 26, 27. If you're lucky, you might get to 29.
So if they don't make it to 26, that means they don't get second contracts. So is it safe, KG, for me to take that you're saying now that you won't pay running backs the second contract? Is that something you're saying?
I'm not going to pay every running back a second contract. If a running back deserves a second contract, I'll give it to him.
But it's not automatic.
No. It's never been automatic.
Excuse me.
Top 15, 18 running backs. Get that renewed.
Like Antonio Gibson.
I'll send it to you in the email.
Antonio Gibson. Was I upset that he didn't re-sign in Washington? No, because he didn't show me enough to get a second contract to re-sign.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're out of the league because they don't get this contract.
No. They just can't come back here
and hop around the NFL.
Yeah, you just can't come back here.
Happens, Midnight Rider. To a lot of running backs. Alfred Morris.
Yeah.
Bye.
But here's the thing. I actually wanted to give Alfred Morris a second contract.
So did I. For his performance and his personality in the community. Alfred Morris was an amazing man.
Yep.
6th round pick.
Yep.
2,000-yard rushing years. Maybe. I don't even know if he got a third one. I know he had 2.
I think he did with Dallas.
But, you know.
He did with Dallas?
No,
we sure about that?
They just move on if they're not in the top 15, 18 running backs in the league. They let you roll. That's what I see.
What the heck is my phone?
Man, Alfred Morris gets around.
Yeah.
He had 3,000-yard rushing seasons. Set the The record his rookie year, 16-13, 1275 the year after that. And the third year, it was 1074.
And you let go of that? You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
The fourth year
supposed
was
to let go of that.
751. That was 2015. No, he didn't have 1,000-yard rushing with Dallas.
He didn't rush for 1,000 yards after he left here.
Nope.
And that's why you don't invest in a second contract in a guy like Alfred Morris.
But he did 3 in a row.
Don't matter. He was done.
He was in different programs with these other teams. He could have stayed with Washington.
If he was talented enough,
I thought he was.
If he was talented enough, somebody would have picked him up. He'd have continued on his 1,000-yard seasons. The problem was, I tell everybody I know the play when they were playing the Texans, and he was going up the sidelines, he was in the clear. And you just knew the way he was running, he was just hoping somebody would chase him down and tackle him because he didn't have another 30 yards in him. At that point, I knew he was done. And that's why they tried to work in. What's the kid they drafted out of it was a dumb draft pick, the kid out of Florida, Matt forgot Matt's last name. Huh? Yeah. Matt Jones. And then he fumbled his way out of town. And then they started going with the fat Robs and all that because they were too dumb to draft decent running backs. But that's a different soapbox for another day.
Well, they had Roy Halou.
What? Don't do that. Don't do that.
Come on. You reaching there, bro.
Yeah, that's why I ain't on camera.
Yeah.
I was close to saying.
Mama Hulu may say that, but ain't nobody else saying it.
Jack Wagner said, I agree. He had a great run, but he was done. And you know what? That's when Shanahan was gone. After the 2014 season, Shanahan was gone. 2015 was Jay's first year. And after 2015, Jay let go of not only Alfred Morris, they cut no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2014 was Shanahan last year. 2015 was Jay's first year. And Jay let go of Darrell Young, who went on to play in Carolina for a couple more years. RG3, who went to Baltimore and Cleveland, respectively. And Alfred Morris, who went to Dallas, San Francisco, Arizona, and the Giants after leaving Washington.
So what are you saying? You saying Morris played 7 seasons?
Yeah. From 2012 to 2020.
I don't see nothing wrong with that. That's a running back career.
But he never reached it. And a key to his success was the read option.
Yes.
Everybody would key in on RG3 and he could go out the back door and he's gone. But he didn't have the home run speed. That's what he didn't have.
Yes. But you're saying how he didn't have these 1,000-yard seasons after he left Washington. I'm sure he didn't get the carries he got at Washington.
No.
What are his average per carry? Could they stay consistent?
In Washington, it was 7 yards the first year, 8.7 the second year. Hold on. I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's a lot. 8 yards.
I'm wrong. I'm reading the receiver stats. It was 4.8, 4.6, 4.1.
That's great.
His last year was 3.7. Then he went to Dallas. It was 3.5. It went up to 4.8, then 3.9, and 4. He averages 4 yards a carry. I don't think that's
the first down.
Yeah, I don't think that's horrible.
No, it's not. And you can't harp on he didn't get 1,000 yards after Washington. Like I say, he didn't get the carries, but his average stayed fairly consistent on that 4 spot.
Agreed.
But yeah, we got on the Alfred Morris tip.
Let me get to a couple of these notable cuts because cut down day was Tuesday at 4:00, and we went through our 53-man roster. A couple of people that are sitting out there floating as of right now. Desmond Ridder was cut. Kadarius Toney cut. Robbie Chosen cut. Boston Scott cut. Tim Patrick cut. Frank Gore Jr. cut.
Yes, know that.
That was surprising. Bailey Zappi cut.
He's a town favorite, man.
Yeah.
Hometown favorite or something. They love him over there.
Allen Robinson, cut.
Done.
John Ross, cut.
Done.
Here's a couple of quarterbacks. One doesn't surprise me. Nathan Peterman.
Who?
Cut. Nathan Peterman needs to apply at Subway. Eat fresh.
Yeah.
CJ Beathard.
Yeah, I heard.
CJ Beathard was cut by the Jaguars. Ian Book, cut. Mike White, cut. Matt Corral. Now hold on. Wasn't this dude supposed to be the heir apparent with Minnesota when he was drafted? Wasn't he supposed to be one of the top guys in Minnesota?
Nah. He came out of Ole Miss and ended up in Carolina, and then Carolina ended up drafting the quarterback. I think he ended up drafting Bryce the very next season or something like that. He got hurt before the season started, missed the whole season, and when he came back, Bryce was there and somebody else was there, and he was pretty much done. He tried to go somewhere else and revitalize his career, and then it just never happened after that. But he was never like a can't miss guy.
He done.
Couple comments from Jack Wagner. He said he was a serviceable running back for a few years, wasn't really built for a long run in the NFL, too small. If your talent is all that you don't dump around, if your talent is all that you don't jump around to that many teams, that's true. That's true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Hartman was cut by the Commanders, but signed back to the practice squad. At least I do know that. But Sam Hartman also has a contract with the USFL, if I believe he wants.
He got drafted by a team. So
yeah,
I mean,
so he got people knocking down his door. Brett Rippon, cut. Nate Sudfeld, cut. Running backs that were cut: Michael Carter, Dante Foreman, Myles Gaskin, Joshua Kelly. Matt Breida got cut by the 49ers. Keyshawn Vaughn and Isaiah Spiller. Justin Ross, wide receiver Justin Ross, Russell Gage, Terrence Marshall, Willie Snead, Isaiah Hodgins, Paris Campbell, Sterling Shepard was cut. Montavious Bryant was cut by Washington. Noah Brown was cut by the Texans and picked up by Washington.
I think that's a good pickup.
I think so too.
What do y'all think about Bryant? You think Bryant's done?
I think he's going to end up on somebody's practice squad, but it's going to be later in the year.
I don't think he wants practice squad.
I don't think he's going to get on anybody's main roster right away. Like he might play like week 15 or 16 for somebody. But I don't see him. Nah.
I'm curious to see how it plays out. I don't see him coming to a team for a practice squad contract. I don't think he'd do it.
I think if he still wants some of that decent money, I think you go ahead and take your chances.
Got to get that bread.
We'll see.
Other notables: Irv Smith Jr., C.J. Uzuma, Caleb Fairley, Desmond King, Bobby McCain. And you know what? A couple years ago, I was so high on Bobby McCain. Especially when he came to Washington, I was so high on that cat.
Yeah,
I was so high on that dude.
Who wasn't?
Carl Lawson, Terrell Edmonds got cut, and Kareem Jackson.
There's a tight end, Donald Parham. Did he get picked up yet by anybody, or is he still on the line?
He was a mainstay out in LA with the Chargers.
Exactly.
Remember, he was here for a while.
He's a big target for red zone, man.
Yeah.
He's going to be a nice pickup for anybody. As of this morning, I didn't see him picked up by anybody.
Nope, still a free agent.
And another guy that I had my eye on is a guy from Miami, Nick Needham, cornerback. I was surprised he got cut. He'd be a nice pickup for anybody. That's my two that I think. You heard about Brissett and May?
Yeah.
Oh, they feuding.
Jacoby Brissett is going to be your starting quarterback.
Well, they fussing is what I heard. They arguing. It's not good.
No.
But, I mean, Brissett's a veteran. I think that May can learn a lot from him. But if they're butting heads, man, it's going to be a waste of time.
Sometimes you got to take it with a grain of salt when people say stuff like that, especially about them arguing. Only time that I really got really upset about hearing something like that was when Malik Willis came in and they asked Ryan Tannehill would he tutor Malik Willis, and he said no. But then when Will Levis came, was it Will Levis? He came in, he was all gung ho to tutor him, and I was like, "What the fuck is that? Something you want to say?" Like,
he probably didn't think the kid had any talent,
which is another reason why you just tutor him, see what he got. Either he want to learn or he don't. That's like in Cleveland when Baker Mayfield came in, they had Tyrod Taylor. It was Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor, and I think Nate Sudfeld. I think he was a third. No, it wasn't. It was it Hogan? It was either Hogan or Sudfeld. I can't remember which one it was. He was the third quarterback, and they was like Tyrod pulls up at 5:30 or 5 o'clock. Baker pulls up at 5:01, and they walk in the building together every day. And Tyrod Taylor sat down and went over tape with those guys. It don't matter how much talent you got, but when you got somebody that's been in the NFL life, and I've said this for years, I'm very old school, but when you got somebody that's been somewhere for a long time and they understand how things work, that's the person that your young bucks got to cleave to. And that doesn't matter if you're in the NFL, NBA, MLB, or you work a straight 9 to 5. Every job site I go to when I work now, I find a guy that's been there for 25, 30 years, 40 years. And that's the dude that I'm right there picking his brain. When they put this in, how did they do it? Which way did they route this? Okay. What I got to worry? Okay, I got to worry about all that. That's the guy I'm talking to. I'm not talking about to the guy with the degree that's the foreman and in charge. Now, I want to talk to the guy that's been here for 25, 30 years because he can tell me more about this one area as a whole in 20 minutes and you can tell me in 10 days. You got to cling to your veterans. You have to. And when you got quarterbacks that come in and they want to butt heads with the veteran quarterback that's in front of them, all you're doing is making your road harder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, fellas.
All right, let me give everybody a prime update right now. Colorado 14, South Dakota State 10. 2 minutes in the first quarter.
Good grief. No defense being played.
I had 10 points in the first quarter. I think I had that. So, yeah, I was looking forward to watching that game.
The Bills did sign Frank Gore. Yeah, it is. The Bills did sign Frank Gore to their practice squad.
Okay. Where did he play college ball?
Robbie Chosen is on Miami's practice squad. Where did Frank Gore Jr. play? It wasn't a big school.
I'll check it out.
It's either UCF or USF.
It'd have been great if he'd have went to the U.
And sat on the bench?
Yeah.
Because he broke a record in
every running back sat on the bench at one time down there.
Yeah, but he'd have been.
You say he broke a record in what?
It says Southern Mississippi.
All right, that's what it was. I knew it was Southern Mississippi.
That's what it says, but don't.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
I thought he went to Central Florida. I know it was black and gold.
Yes, sir. Mississippi. You see New England. New England been busy on that waiver wire. They picked up 4 real quick.
Yeah.
And the Skins got 3.
They got Michael Jordan. They got Jalen Reagor. Not bad.
Mm-hmm. No, and the Skins picked up 3 to put on the practice squad. Jalen Graham, Sheldon Day, defensive lineman and a defensive back, Bobby Price. They're all three going to go to the practice squad. But the signing of Noah Brown, I like that. He's only 6'2", but he plays bigger than that, in my opinion. Like I say, he was great in the red zone for Dallas. So I like him. He can block, too. And he's played for Quinn. You know, Quinn was the defensive coordinator, but Dan Quinn knows him.
Right. I'm looking at a notable name that was picked up on practice squad for the Bengals, Logan Woodside. Midnight Ride, I'm sure that you have mentioned this young man's name. Why do I know his name?
Logan Woodside. Is he a quarterback?
Yes.
If we check and see if he played for the Rams. Because I think if it's who I think it is, he's the guy that played 2 years ago for the Rams in the playoffs, and I think he ended up getting replaced by Baker Mayfield.
Nope.
Give me a college.
Toledo.
No foul.
Okay, I don't know why I know the name, and I swear I thought you could have told me. Now, here's the question for you. Desmond Ridder. Is this the end of the line for him?
I mean, he can play in the XFL.
In the NFL, I should say.
He can play in the XFL. He can sell popcorn. He can park.
That's why I said in the NFL.
Arena League.
He can call somebody and be like, Nationwide is on your side.
I don't see him.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's probably all the NFL news I got. You guys got anything from MLB? I know we talked MLB Tuesday. You guys got anything from MLB? Then we can backtrack a little bit. Midnight Rider, Steph Curry's new extensions, 1 year, $62 million. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, they got to do whatever they can to keep him around. So, I mean, it's pretty much his house that he built. So you're at the end of it, though. So you just got to figure out how much time you got left. You know what I'm saying? When you call up that shrink in Beverly Hills, you know the one. Doctor, everything's going to be all right.
I can't.
And you can reach the doctor at 555-2419.
Woo!
My bad, dog.
Oh man. Okay. Speaking of money, I made a statement when it came down, and I said Jerry Jones, when we were talking about CeeDee Lamb's contract, said Jerry Jones finally spending some money, not being cheap. And it was a gentleman in the group was like, when is Jerry ever cheap? Jerry's only paid one other person, and that was Dak. I'm sorry, he paid two other people. That was Dak and Zeke. And look how that turned out. Jerry has a habit of underpaying players and always has, but that's been a Dallas thing since the 70s, since the 60s and the 70s. They underpaid their superstars, so if you came in there and you had a great season, they wouldn't pay you because I can't pay you more than the stars. You know, Dwayne Thomas said he got $5,000 for Rookie of the Year in the NFL. They went to the Pro Bowl, and it was another player who got, what was it, $250,000? No, it was $25,000 just for Rookie of the Year on his team. Bob Lilly, Mr. Cowboy, even said it. He said they started talking about checks at the Pro Bowl, and oh no, they're just pulling your leg. They're trying to make you mad. He's like, no, I seen the check stub. These people are getting paid. Why are we not getting paid? Dallas has a habit of underpaying their stars so they don't have to pay people. But when Jerry spends the money, the rare time that he does spend the money, it never works out. How many playoff wins has Dak Prescott got in the last 4 years since he signed that contract? I'll wait.
How many playoff wins does Trevor Lawrence have? How many playoff wins does Kirk Cousins have? I mean, we can play this game all day long. The question is real simple. Do you want to have a quarterback, or do you want to spend time in the QB abyss. We got two teams coming up on their 8th season where in week 1 they're starting a different quarterback 8 years in a row. Washington and Indianapolis. So which carousel you want to be on? You want to be on the one where, hey, we can get there. We may not win, but we got a chance. Because they said when you get in the dance, you got a chance.
All right. Okay. Let me rebuttal. Because you hit me with a nice body shot. When you saw bringing up Kirk Cousins and everybody, hit me with a nice body shot. But I'm going to go ahead and counter. Because you say, which carousel do you want to be on? But I don't think you should put Indianapolis in that vein because Indianapolis has front office problems. They released 3 of their 2024 picks. Their 3rd round, 4th round, and 5th round pick have been released. You can't find a quarterback because you don't know how to pick players.
No, they struggled because they lost Andrew Luck at the very last minute because they failed to protect him.
Yeah.
And they've been in the rut ever since.
And you speaking of quarterbacks, I think that year, remember that year that Peyton Manning, his last year that he played in Indianapolis, that he missed the following year because of the neck issue.
Right.
That year alone, I think that he should have been MVP. Even though he didn't play, I think he should have been MVP. Because they went from one of the perennial teams, Super Bowl contender, to they went from the penthouse to the outhouse. Quickly.
Might I retort, sir?
You may.
You just said it. You know, if you have a quarterback like a Peyton Manning, like somebody that's really good or a good quarterback, they leave or they get hurt, you fall into the gutter. That's why quarterbacks matter.
Yes, I agree with that. I do. But you also have to structure your team for what if. I'm not saying you got to get a guy of equal talent, but you have to have, for every Jim Kelly, you got to have a Frank Wright.
So look.
For every Mark Rippon, you have to have a Stan Humphries.
Okay, all of that predates the 2000s, but let me just throw this out to you real quick. It's we're talking about a league where quarterbacks matter, right? You said backups or whatever, but if you're paying your starter $55 million, you're not gonna have like an A1 backup. You just not.
Your backup has to come in when you don't miss a beat.
Okay. Okay.
So you don't agree?
I definitely don't agree. I didn't agree with Lee Ice the other night when he talked about why don't you pay that? Why you gotta pay that? You gotta pay him because the drop off is too serious.
Is it really?
And the other thing, that's what I wanted to say next. My 48-year-old brain kicked in, so it took me to a different path. But the other problem is these teams use this quarterback contract as a crutch. Oh, you can't build a team when you pay the quarterback. That's bull. You can build a team. You just got to draft well.
Agreed.
But that's the reason why you don't see GMs on like the same carousel that you see the coaches on. Coaches
Which
have
they
a
should be.
shelf life. Hold on, say that again.
They should be.
Right. But they don't.
Granted, my only GM experience is from Madden, but I know if I have a quarterback that's locked up, I want to put a young offensive line in front of him. And I want to put a young offensive line in front of him that's going to gel together and keep him upright. You bring in maybe 1 or 2 veterans, and then you put young guys around them. And then when those veterans start getting older, you already got the replacement for them lined up, waiting in the wings. So all they got to do is come in and plug and play. But you have to, it's like shark teeth with certain players. Certain positions, you have to have a conveyor belt of players to step up and step in. Because you know if this player is in year 7, you need to start finding his replacement because you don't know if he's going to be there for year 10. So you need to start grooming his replacement. Everybody doesn't think like that. And we've become such a right now society. The hell with a league. We've become such a right now society. Nobody thinks about tomorrow. Everybody's today people. Nobody's a tomorrow person. Stealing that from Chuck Noll. None of these people are tomorrow. None of these GMs are tomorrow people. They think about right now and today, winning right now. They don't know how to build winners anymore.
I'd like to disagree with you again. Atlanta just drafted Michael Penix with the 9th pick because they were layering talent. A couple years ago, the 49ers traded away their defensive tackle to the Colts to draft Javon Kinlan, and then they ended up having to sign somebody because Kinlan got hurt. They layer talent. Like, teams layer talent. Your good teams do.
Okay, you just named 2 teams.
I said
hold on, wait. I made a mistake. Because I said everybody. You do have teams that layer talent, but everybody's trying to win right now instead of saying, okay, we got this. We know the formula for winning, but we have to put it together. I always say a 5-year plan. You say that takes too long. That's the problem with the right now stuff. You're thinking about today.
No, I'm not.
We got to go from a 3-win team to at least a 6-win team in the season. We got to build slow. Sometimes you have to build slow.
Go ahead, Jack.
I think a 5-year build for rebuilding is a little long. I'm more towards 2 to 3 years. You know, you draft good 2 years in a row, you can be good in that second year. And if you put enough together, third year should be money. Rebuild shouldn't take 5 years.
Here's why rebuild takes 5 years. Because you don't have a plan. You don't have a type. Look at Ron Rivera. 1 year you draft Benjamin St. Juste. The next year you draft Emmanuel Forbes. I mean, come on.
Nobody's talking about Ron. Why you got to bring up Ron? Leave Ron out of this.
Ron sucks.
Leave him alone.
Nah, I'm just saying. It's the perfect example.
It's
not 5 years, but then you go out and say you got a 5-year plan and you need a quarterback. But then you invest 1 year in Ryan Fitzpatrick. How important is the quarterback position to you? That's your best option?
I didn't agree with that. $10 million for a personal quarterback.
I understand, but I'm just saying, if you're saying that that's the most important position, you got to treat it like that.
That year you're talking about, that's when what's his name broke his leg, right? When he broke his leg, right?
That's not after the year before. Fitzpatrick.
Oh, that's right. Fitzpatrick came in the opener against the Chargers. They broke his neck.
His hip.
Right.
Yeah, he had
I was there.
They of a hip.
Yeah, I was there. They busted him up on that play. I don't know what he was trying to do.
Some people say it was already like that.
I did enjoy Fitzmagic before that. But yeah, when the Washington signed him out, I didn't think anything was gonna come out of that.
Jack says they should win 10 with Jaden Daniels, the quarterback, or whatever his name is. With Jaden Daniels. That's what I say. I don't want to get too ahead of myself with that. But what I'm saying is, if you take, and I say 5 years is not a long time, because if you let me say it like this. It's going to take 5 years if you're taking over some place like Carolina, when you got a owner that knocks heads with you and wants to do everything. It's going to take 5 years. Chicago, 5 years.
Well,
I won't
Washington
say
Washington been rebuilding for 25 years. You ask me.
Well, I mean, and with each rebuild, every time you get to a point that you think there's light at the end of the tunnel, they do something different. They change course.
Pull the rug out from under you. I agree.
Every time. And it don't have to be a coaching change. It's you go away from what you were doing that was successful. 5 years. 5 years. Three. Okay. 3. Let's split the diff. 3 to 5 years.
Look, KG. I love what you're saying, but you gotta think about this place. Like, we always had these grand plans of, I don't expect them to win but 6 games. The second the season start and them games start getting played, we act like they should be 18-0 even though you only picked them to play 6 and win 6 in the beginning.
Well, hold on.
You're not even taking it. Hold on. Okay, you ain't even taking the under because you didn't believe in the team. But now, when the game started playing, you called in the radio station acting like this. They should have won 10 games. You appalled. The coaching sucks. Oh my God, this, all of that.
That's the fan base that we deal with. Because this is what I tell people in this fan base. When we go undefeated in preseason, when Marcus Mason was running all over everybody, Colt Brennan was chucking the ball, and we was looking so good. Are we going to the Super Bowl this year? No, we're not. Shut up. We've won. If they counted the Super Bowls that we won on paper in the offseason, we would have more Super Bowls than the 49ers, the Steelers, and the Cowboys combined. Because we were Super Bowl champs for like 25 years in a row in the offseason because we had such a great offseason. But when them games start getting played, you know how weak your team is. That's why I don't get geeked up about free agent signings anymore. I don't get geeked up about this person looking good in training camp. I remember a friend of the show, Keith from the block. He was like, "Oh, Terrell Pryor gonna have 1,000-yard receiving season." I said, "Dog, off of one catch in a drill, he was supposed to monster DB. That dude's not even gonna have 200 yards because he's a quarterback. He's not a receiver."
Mm-hmm.
What did he do? I don't even think he had 200 yards receiving because he couldn't catch the damn ball. I don't get geeked up about stuff like that. But when you bring these players in and you see the attitude that they have and their work ethic, some of them should be let go as soon as they walk in the door. The contract voided because their work ethic's not there. That's why it's taking us so long to turn things around in Washington, because every time we have a 5-year plan, we never get to year 5 of the plan. By year 3, everybody's trying to run the coaching staff out of town. Everybody's trying to run the GMs out of town.
13 out of 33.
We made our predictions on what we thought the wins were going to be this year for Washington. And I made that prediction just thinking and not knowing the schedule. I'm looking at the schedule right now. They don't have an easy schedule. We got, the Bucks first. I think we're going to lose that. Got the Giants. We'll win that. Got the Bengals. We're going to get spanked. Got the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to get us. Got the Browns. I think the Browns are going to get us. We got the Ravens, and I think we're going to beat the Ravens just because of that little Beltway rivalry. We're going to beat the Panthers. I don't know what we'll do against the Bears. We should get 2 from the Giants. Steelers up in the air. Eagles going to get us. Cowboys, you never know. Titans, we should beat them. Saints, we should beat them.
Colorado just messed up.
So we don't have a gravy schedule. But I'd like to see 8, 9 wins. That would make me happy. Oh,
I would love it
screwed the pooch.
huh?
Well, then
Colorado just screwed the pooch.
Is it halftime yet?
Nah, this 17-14 North Dakota State, but they just tried to go for it on 4th down and didn't get it.
Good field position?
Close. I think they're right around midfield. Shermer, that's who it is. Pat Shermer. Is the offensive coordinator, and I don't know why. I don't know what Dion was thinking, and actually it's great field position because they're at the 35-yard line. Yeah, sorry about that. One of the shows we were talking about who's the Colorado offensive coordinator.
Well,
Dion got a beard.
Look at Shador just made the play of the game. He just laid down on the field acting like he got a cramp. He ain't got a cramp. But the defense was slow getting on the field. And he laid down like he was hurt. Somebody get this kid an Oscar. He lipping on the wrong leg. He lipping on the wrong leg now.
He went to the left leg.
So, Midnight Rider, are we getting that segment tonight, or we gonna wait till next week?
I gotta give me some. We got 105.
Yeah,
I can do a quick version of it.
I mean, if you want to wait till next week since ain't nobody played, that makes sense.
Actually, no, let's wait because I want to see some games before I bring out another version.
Okay, we can do that. You talk about Colorado's offensive coordinator. Well, in the Sideline Junkies College Football 25 league, Colorado did get a new offensive coordinator mid-season and had 2 upset victories to knock some people out of the playoff. So the Midnight Rider will be in, and I'm going to try to get him at least one interview because I think that's the big interview to finish strong for Colorado. We're going to get Colorado's virtual head coach in and try to get him to speak on that and what changed. What else you trying to knock out come Saturday morning, Midnight Rider?
Let's get the winner of the 2 conference championship games.
Okay, we got one played already. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't watched it, but I saw it was a great game.
Oh yeah. So what we'll do, we'll say the results for Saturday morning. Don't forget the Bash in Berlin is also Saturday afternoon. So join us Saturday morning, and we'll pass you off to the Bash of Berlin in Saturday afternoon, and in the Bash of Berlin, we'll pass you off to the Saturday Night WrestleManiacs for the recap.
And then you can check out Sideline Junkies Sunday Rise, 11:15 Sunday a.m.
See?
We just got a full.
This is why we pay
baby.
Jack the big bucks. This is why we pay Jack the big bucks. And then on top of that, on Monday, we're trying to put it together. But on Monday, we're going to be here live shooting the you-know-what while we do our draft and have 37 teams drafting in our fantasy football draft.
Oh, that's Monday. What time are we doing that?
I think that's Monday. I think I got it set for 8, but I can move it.
No, that's cool. I mean.
So we can mess around with that. And that's nothing, we're not going to be talking anything. I got a couple questions for the Midnight Rider come Sunday. I'm going to pick his brain and mess with him. That is Monday, September 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I got a couple of questions for the Midnight Rider come Sunday. Because we got our division set up. We playing with 2 divisions this year, and the Midnight Rider is in the
30 teams.
It's 32.
Got 15 teams in each division.
Yeah,
no, not this time.
We got it broken down in 3. It's actually 3 divisions and 2 conferences.
Oh yeah,
it's the Chuck Brown East, the Chuck Brown West, and the Chuck Brown South division.
There's a lot.
It's okay.
Check us out Monday at 8.
Oh, and don't forget if we doing all the plugs, we got to do the Sideline Junkies pick league where you make your picks during the week. The ESPN keeps the score for you. We posted the link on the website for the Sideline Junkies. Oh, but they just got a cheapie. So yeah, ready to go.
And I always tell people, if you think that football, the Sideline Junkies have a run of over 100 wins per person every year. Not only that, we pick every game, but we have a run of 100 wins guaranteed. But we have a run of 5 years in a row of over 200 wins.
Wow.
So we always have somebody that hits over 200 wins for 5 years straight. And I have kept logs. Yeah. I used to have a composition book, black and white composition book that kept every pick, every record from the time we started until the Midnight Rider came on and was like, "Nah, we're not doing that anymore. We're gonna move it to the new century, and we're gonna do it."
That's me, man. I'm a pen and paper guy. I really am.
And I'm like, I don't know, what are we doing here? Like, it keeps the records for you. It keeps the scores. What are we doing?
Because the thing is, when I tell you, I would I would sit there because we used to do the 1 o'clock games, then the 4 o'clock, and the 4 o'clock, the 8 o'clock, and the Monday night game in the second half of the show, on the second show. So we did 2 shows. I would sit there and take everybody's joint down. Everybody's pick. And if you didn't make the show, you put your picks in the chat. So I would sit there and I write down everybody's pick. Everybody's pick. Boom, 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 boom. And then I put a line down. All right, cool. Everybody picked this week. And I would sit there and I would total up the numbers at the end of the night. On Tuesday night, I would come out with the record. Hey, this is what the records look like for the week. This is where y'all sitting at. All right, cool. I need to, like, we had one year, Junie made a run so daggone big. He was maybe, I think, 25 games ahead of everybody going into like the last 3 weeks of the season. And it was like, yeah, you might as well go ahead and give it to him. Nobody's going to catch him. And I think he just kind of just threw some stuff in the air and picked, and he wound up winning by like 29 games because we couldn't keep up with him. He was just on fire. Then that same year, he was on fire in fantasy football where he was the number 1 team whole season long. He was just rolling. That's why I always say, if you want to bet, listen to the Sideline Junkies. We'll tell you who to bet on. We'll win you a little cash. You know, we like to get 10% for your manager. You know, that's us. We like to get our little 10%. But we'll put a little money in your pocket. Final thoughts before we get up out of here, gentlemen.
This might be a long year for Prime.
Well,
you know, North Dakota State ain't no scrubs just because they just got moved up. North Dakota State's a fine football program.
No, I totally agree. I know they're legitimate every year. They're in the hunt or in the finals for the playoffs in their division, or I should say in their league or their conference.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they put out what is it, Easton Stick, and then they had Carson Wentz. So they've put out talent, and Trey Lance, I think. So they've had talent as quarterbacks. So it's definitely not. I don't think this is a walk in the park. I just think Colorado right now, from what I'm watching, they are very undisciplined in certain points. They got a couple cheap penalties. They got a couple calls that should have been called that weren't called. So I think it's a struggle right now. And then they got Shermer as their offensive coordinator, which doesn't make sense. They might as well hire Brian Schottenheimer, 2 of my least favorite offensive coordinators. Yeah, that's it for me. I gotta figure out what I'm eating.
Well, I just had Sylvester, so I'm good. I got to get up at 5 a.m., so let's get on the out of here.
I'm getting this
what did you get?
KFC chicken sandwich I had earlier, man.
Yes.
It's the biggest patty I ever seen on a sandwich. It was sticking out the side, so I took the bun apart and went to slide it back, and it was already on the other side sticking out too. I was like, it was like a fish sandwich. What it looked like had so much chicken curling out of there. So I only ate half of it. I'm gonna polish that off after I'm done. Watch me some football. Happy to be watching football.
So not only do you have the Sideline Junkies all weekend, you got college football too. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here, because this show would not move without you. And you, the listener, you, the viewer, it wouldn't move without you either. So I want to thank everybody. And thank you, Jack. Always a good show. It's always fun to do it. Hey, man, we gotta get with Ross. We gotta get Ross in here at the beginning of the season. We gotta get Ross back in here. Gotta get Thanos in here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an APB out for Thanos. But for the gentleman Jack, the Midnight Rider, the boss BJ on special assignment. I'm the big guy KG. We don't do no overtime, baby. We are out of here.